What's up everybody, we are Deanna and Phil. Deanna's from the United States and I am from Germany, and in this video we're gonna go over 7 number differences between Germany and the US.
Numbers, they're the same in every country, right?
Wrong.
Wrong! Okay, so our first difference is going to be writing numbers. Alright, we're gonna pull out the colors. Pick a color, any color. I feel like I'm an ESL teacher again. Here we go. So I'm gonna write some numbers down as we would in the US, and then Phil's gonna write them the German way.
So we got Deanna's numbers on this side and my numbers on that side.
That is a 7!
That is the problem. She always says that's a 7 and it is not. We do the 1 just up and down. And you do the 7 without the little thing in between.
Sometimes people do it with a thing.
Similar to the 1, just with the thing in between. Or you do a little swoopy if you're like more on the cursive side.
And what is that 9? That's a G.
Yeah, it's a small G.
That's a straight G.
I don't know if that's still common. Some people do it with the straight one too, but I just have it in me to do that little swoop thing. That's just a 9. I think the 4 is pretty similar. Some people do this triangle shaped one. I never did that.
Some people do that too in the US.
Yeah, but I think the biggest confusion and the biggest difference between us is always when I do a 1, you're like, that's a 7, right? No, it's not. It's a 1.
Especially confusing when you're filling out like any bureaucratic documents or paperwork. If I'm in Germany, I have to do the German way, and if we're in the US, I'm like, if you put that 7-1 thing that you put down, people are not gonna know what you're writing.
It was funny, we were in Thailand, we were training at a gym, and we had a German teacher, and he wrote it on a chalkboard, like, 1 set of that, and then 70% of the people, because they were from North America, we have to do 7 sets of that. That's a 1, right? I was like, yeah, that's a 1. And he's like, thank you. But he was German.
It was not just North America. It was people from Australia, the UK, Asia, and everyone's like, we have to do 75 burpees when he meant 15.
75 burpees. Okay.
And because that's a 7.
Okay, let us know, how do you write the 1 and how do you write the 7? Is this a 1 or a 7?
Bruh.
Our second difference is gonna be counting 1, 2, with your fingers. So we've seen differences in counting with the fingers, and I think it's the most funny thing, it's the funniest thing, that's the word.
Yeah, people comment this all the time.
So we should just count with our fingers to 10 and see the difference. Okay.
From 0 to 1? Or I mean
yeah, let's
from 0 to 10?
Go from 0 to 1 and then to 10. Alright, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11.
Excuse me.
Alright, so you saw the differences, and it's funny, I was not aware that there's different ways.
So I did some research online because I was kind of curious if I was doing it right or not, and I think 1 to 5 is pretty standard in North America and in China. They count 1 to 5 the same, so we'd go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way. But then 6 to 10 differs a little bit.
This makes me doubt myself, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this the normal German way? This is how I always did it, and let me know if you do it another way. The weird thing with the German version is 1, 2, 3, and then I get the thumb in again and have 2 popping up, right?
That's inefficient. Where's the German efficiency? Entschuldigung, das ist nicht richtig. I'm the bartender, you order some beers. How many fingers would you hold up?
It's weird, I just counted 1, 2, but beer I would order 2. Or 2, not 2. Loser. 2 beer. Peace, bro.
Yeah, this makes sense. 2 beers, please.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments below how you would order a beer and where you are from, because we have some confusion.
Yeah, you're confusing me. Now I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
He doesn't know.
Before we continue with the video, I wanted to take a quick second and remind you guys, please like the video. Every thumbs up, every comment below helps to boost the video and helps the YouTube algorithm. If you also want to further support us, you can do that on Patreon. We have a Patreon page. It's patreon.com/DeannaandPhil. We have different levels of benefits where you can support us, and every support is highly appreciated. Thank you for that, and back to the video.
So our third point is going to be numbers reversed sort of thing.
Yeah, we're talking about how you say the numbers.
Yes.
And I have to admit that is confusing in German.
So confusing to me. So I think 1 through 20 is pretty similar.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get to 21 and above, it's a little complicated. Let's, for example, just say 85. It's the same as how you would write the numbers, 8 and then a 5.
Yeah.
How would you do it in German?
In German, we would say 85. We say 5 and 80. 59. 59. We would say 9 and 50.
Yeah, or 69. It would be 69. What would it be in German?
69. 9 and 60.
But what I did notice is 1 through 20 is pretty similar in English and in German, so that's why it's probably easy to learn those numbers. So for example, let's say 19. What would that be in German?
19.
Yeah, so you say the zehn and the teen after you say the 9.
Yeah.
Which is a little backwards.
The teens, you do the way we do, but then you switch it up in the 20s. You say the 21st, the 31st.
Yeah, that's true.
Before we continue the video, quick word from our sponsor, Lingoda.
It can be really confusing trying to remember the numbers in different words in German. I have found the best way to learn is continuous practice. Lingoda is offering a language sprint challenge where you can build a consistent habit of learning a language in just 3 months.
And the great thing about Lingoda Sprint Challenge is that you can get 50% or even 100% cash back if you attend all of your classes, which you should basically do anyway.
So that means I can take online classes from my home, learn German, and get 100% cash back by just being consistent.
Genau, you can get 100% cash back with Lingoda Super Sprint Challenge by attending 30 classes a month for 3 months in a row, or you can get 50% cash back with Lingoda Sprint by attending 15 classes a month for 3 months.
If you haven't heard of Lingoda yet, Lingoda is a flexible online learning school where you can learn German, English, French, Spanish, and business English. The great thing is it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or an advanced learner, you can find courses for your level. There are qualified native speaking teachers using expert designed curriculums and leading group classes with an average class size of 3 students. With the classes that I've taken, the teachers are always very helpful with correcting mistakes and very encouraging.
Lingoda Sprint starts September the 23rd and you must sign up before September the 8th.
Both the Sprint and the Super Sprint require a €49 deposit to reserve your spot. And remember that you have a chance of getting 50% or 100% cash back if you attend the correct amount of courses during the sprint.
We have a €10 discount on that deposit if you use our discount code SCHOOL72 and the link in the description below.
Consistency is key, and this concept has been proven, so if this sounds perfect for you, hurry up and sign up today because there are limited spots for the Lingoda Sprint.
Big thank you to Lingoda for sponsoring us today, but now back to the video. Alright, our difference number 4 is gonna be the comma versus the period debacle. And it's so confusing from a German's point of view. If I look at American prices, at American numbers, at American whatever, it's so confusing because the period and the comma are just used in opposite ways.
Yes, it's so weird. So for example, the thousands separator in the US would be, just random numbers, a comma.
Yeah, and that would mean 1.24 to us. And it's so weird, I had to get used to saying 1.24 because for us it's just 1,24. And I would just write the full number, and if it gets long, I would put a little dot in there.
Little punctuation. So that's only $1.24.
Yeah.
That's a very cheap television. But if we're gonna go into the decimal separator, that's when we use the period.
Oh.
And then we separate the points that way.
We do the same thing. It would be 25 cents if we're talking money here. Just comma. And this stresses me out. Whenever we transfer money between Germany and the US, I'm like, $1,000. What if I put the comma instead of the dot? Then it's not 1,000, then I'm just giving her 100,000.
Bruh,
I don't have.
Bruh, you would accidentally send me $1.24 instead of the 1,240 you owe me. Don't even give me that psh.
Well, either way, it's stressful and you don't know what the official international way is that banks use for that stuff.
Even when you use a German keyboard, because there are a lot of differences on a German keyboard versus a US keyboard. In the little number slot, there is a comma instead of a period where you would normally do a decimal. And like I used to do a lot of accounting type stuff or finance type stuff, and I'm so used to using that numbers pad, but it's a freaking comma.
Yeah.
Our 5th point is going to be floors and different floor levels. So where did you park the car?
Depends, German or American way.
This is what's interesting. There are a lot of differences that I didn't even notice until we started talking about like where's the car parked or like different apartment stories.
What you call first floor in Germany is the ground floor, das Erdgeschoss.
Which is like 0.
Like even with the surface, that's the Erdgeschoss, the earth floor. It's always in the elevator the EG, meaning ground floor. And then the first floor is the first one up.
Which is the second floor.
And then the second one is the second one up.
Which is the third floor.
Yeah, and so on. So you start counting, you just say first floor, that's the ground floor, right? Ground floor, first floor in the US, same thing.
Yeah.
Whereas we do ground floor and then first floor, first one up.
Especially if you're apartment hunting and you're like, is it on the third floor? Where is it? Third German or US?
Yeah, so that's another funny difference. And I don't know who comes up with all these differences. They're everywhere, they're just confusing.
Yeah, I'm surprised, to be honest, that there were so many. Okay, so our 6th point is going to be dates. Hot dates. This one is something I always have to double check, especially for important documents, whether we're in Germany or the US.
Yeah, or from a German company, but in English.
Yeah.
Then which one do they use?
Oh my goodness, it's fun. Because in the US, we do month, day, year.
Yeah, and we do day, month, year.
Which makes sense in my opinion because you go from small to big. And I like it because in the US you usually have to put a comma in between the day and the year because you have too many numbers together.
Yeah.
Versus I think if you go from small to big you don't have that complication.
Yeah, and it's so confusing. When you learn that as a German for the first time dealing with international stuff, with US stuff, it's usually a forward dash or something or comma, right? And if it's like 04, 05, 2020, is it the 4th of May or is it the 5th of April?
Yeah.
It's a little easier if one is higher than 12.
Exactly.
If you have a 13 to 31 in there, then it's easier because you know, that's the day.
I do like that my birthday is on October 18th. They'll figure it out if it's backwards or wrong or something.
That's true. And then our last and 7th point is gonna be millions, billions, and trillions. Let's just count very high. And there are some of the silliest differences between German and American. Because let's start with
English.
1.
So 1.
Eins.
10.
10.
100.
100.
1000.
1000.
1 million.
1 Million.
1 billion.
1 Milliarde.
Why? 1 trillion.
1 Billion.
Quadrillion?
1 Billiarde.
Why is it so complicated and so confusing?
Yeah, the most confusing thing is the billion, which they have in either language. We have 1 Billion and English have 1 billion. But it's not the same thing.
No.
The English billion has 9 zeros and the German billionen, has 12 zeros and it's the trillion.
Yeah.
Why?
In English STEM it makes sense because you have billion, trillion, quadrillion. You have the STEM word for 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, and we just go Millionen, Milliarde, Billionen, Billiarde.
We started talking about this because we started talking about like the first trillionaire is about to happen. But no, in German they're going to be the first billionaire.
Yeah, and there are plenty billionaires in the world, right? But not in German language. There's no billionaire.
Milliardaire.
Yeah, dude, so weird. Same word used totally for a number that's 1,000 times greater than the other one.
Interesting differences.
Alright, those were a lot of numbers. I hope this wasn't too confusing, but the differences are there and they are just funny.
Yeah, it's just funny the ones that we come up with so frequently and we have to clarify all the time
and
like what we're talking about.
It affects you in daily life, like the elevators.
Or the dates.
Yeah.
It's just these little things and we're
It's so common.
Anyways, let us know in the comments if you've ever struggled with number differences in other countries or if you are from another country other than Germany and the US and if there's a difference in numbers that you use. I'm interested to hear about it.
Yeah, this was fun for us. I hope you enjoyed it too. If you did, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
As always, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.